What's up, everyone? Peacemaker here. Today, we're going to be taking a look at teams and players that you guys should keep an eye on for the elimination stage, the last stage prior to the playoffs, and, well, $1 million as prize pool, and the prestige of winning a major, the first major in Asia. Well, there's been a lot of surprises, a lot of exciting moments so far. We just went through the opening stage with also a lot of surprises, but let's go through teams and players that we think you guys should keep an eye on. So let's go straight to it. Basically, here I have the HLTV.org page with all the stats, all the stuff from the opening stage. I also have the RMR B, the RMR A, and Insani, which you guys will understand shortly. But, well, first of all, who do we think that surprised? I mean, just to begin with, we can see 4 players from the MongolZ at the top of the list, top players from the opening stage. Well, it's just insane, right? That we have 4 players from the same team with these amount of numbers. And if you take a look at the teams they actually played against, like, yeah, okay, they had a pretty easier opening match against Rare Atom, a local matchup where they know each other very well. Then they go and face MIBR, which you could argue, like, yeah, the MongolZ often does really good against Brazilian teams. And then they basically went through a Gamer Legion and I mean, just made them look completely like lost, right? And Gamer Legion has been a team that has been performing pretty well, right? I mean, there's no reason to deny their ability and that they're a capable team of being at the elimination stage as well. So, just the fact that the MongolZ were able to win in this fashion against all of these guys, I mean, if you basically combine all the rounds they lost, you can barely get to 13, right? Which is insanity that they played 4 maps and they barely lost 13 rounds. So, yeah, just very impressive. You guys should definitely keep an eye on the MongolZ. And more than that, I'll be bold here. I will say that the MongolZ will be in the playoffs, in my opinion. Like what this team has shown me throughout the last months and in this particular event proved to me that they not only look scary, they already proved themselves against some of the tier S teams, you know, the FaZes of the world, the Spirits of the world. I think they are more than capable of doing a lot of damage. So yes, keep an eye on the MongolZ, keep an eye on the players, and also moving forward, I have to say MIBR and Insani. But honestly, when it comes to Insani, like, I think the thing that I'm mostly scared of is this, right? The result, the numbers look really insanity, you like it. But if you look at the teams he actually played against, right? Yes, you can make an argument about, yeah, it's not really like really strong opponents. FlyQuest did great at the beginning, but then towards the end of the opening stage, didn't really impress that much. The MIBR run at the Americas RMR also wasn't that insane. Rare Atom being able to perform like this against Rare Atom, is that really, really impressive? Best of 1 against Passion Yua and winning against Virtus Pro, a very underwhelming Virtus Pro at the moment, right? We all think that VP will probably go under roster changes. So I think my biggest question mark about Insani, like, I still think we should keep an eye on him. But more importantly, I think we should keep an eye on him against stronger teams. You know, FaZe, G2. I want to see if this player is capable of putting closer to these numbers against some of the best teams in the world. So that is why I think we should keep an eye on him, and we should also keep an eye on MIBR, right? MIBR has been performing really well lately. Second best team in terms of rating overall. 8 maps played. So, yes, a team that we should look on for the next stage. And, yeah, I could say Liquid and all of that, but, you know, it's pretty obvious, right, that we should keep an eye on all of the teams that actually went through and are going to be playing at the elimination stage. But these 2 particular teams are the ones I think we should keep a closer eye on. And then moving forward, let me just close these tabs. Then we can go to the Europe RMR B. Who has surprised us the most in this RMR? And it's pretty insanity that we have G2 closer to the bottom of this list, right? Which, yes, they did go through, but we all remember how close it was. Well, they could have easily lost that match against Spirit as well. So way too close for comfort. And for me, it's not surprising that we have Spirit on top of the list, even though Yes, they lost to G2. Yes, they lost a BO1 against Passionua, if I'm not mistaken. They played 10 maps, 1.17 rating. And the thing that I'm mostly scared of is that not only we should keep an eye on them as a team because of what they've shown on the server, very stable as a team, very consistent. They show a lot of like mixed combination of tactics, like fast-paced stuff combined with this low methodical style. I think Chopper has been calling really well. But more importantly, I think we're getting glimpses of Prime Dong and Prime Shiro again. And if you look at the numbers of these two, 140 rating in 10 maps. That's average, right? And Shiro, 1.31 rating, best opera at the RMR. And we're talking about RMR with G2, Astralis, Heroic with Dexter, James from Virtus Pro, a lot of good operas, right? And this guy has been outstanding, right? So I think we should definitely keep an eye on both of these guys, and we all know what they're capable of. We know when Doak wake up and he's on his day, he shuts down everybody. That's just simple like that. So let's keep an eye if Donk is able to pull these performances at the elimination stage. Who else do we think from this particular list that we should keep an eye on? Pretty crazy that we have James, Electronic, and Flit on this list when they played like they did at the opening stage, right? It's very underwhelming. I guess we can say Nerds, right? The best player on this RMR for Heroic. I think he helped Heroic a lot to go through this Europe RMR B. But, I didn't really think... I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I didn't really get impressive by Heroic. Let's actually just take a look at the Heroic match to see if there's anything impressive. They played against Perivision, Big, NIP, and Passionua. Is that really, really impressive for you guys? Like, maybe, yeah, against Passionua, because Passionua did a lot of damage, and they could easily have been a team at this elimination stage. They ended up losing to Wildcard in third map, overtime. Very heartbreaking loss for them, but they surprised me a lot. One of the dark horses that nobody thought they would go this far, and they surprised the world. They shocked the world by their performance and their passion for the game. So congratulations to Passionua. But Heroic, one of those teams that, again, I need to see more. I need to see them against some of the best teams. This, for me, just not enough at all. So from this RMR, I would say Donk, Shiro, Spirit. That's it. 3D Max, right? 3D Max. That is a team that we should keep an eye on. Being able to go 3-0, yes, beating TSM 1311, opening game, not really impressive. Eternal Fire, extremely underwhelming performance from them at this major cycle. Beating them on overtime as well. Is that really impressive? Yeah, maybe. But then they go BO3 against G2, and wow, that was impressive. That's something to keep an eye on, right? They were able to go 3-0 and beat one of the best contenders in this RMR. So for them to be able to beat G2 like that, for sure, we have to keep an eye on them as a team. So yeah, I think we have two teams from this RMR. 3D Max, Spirit, and obviously Spirit players and 3D Max players. Fair enough. And then G2, Monesi, yeah, Mobs, and we obviously going to keep an eye on them. From RMR A, do we actually need to go through this? This was one of the most straightforward RMRs we have seen in a while, right? Mouse Sports, Vitality, and Nav, they're all looked really, really sharp. And yeah, just again, Zaiwu, one of the best players in the world, 1.46 rating. Let's just keep an eye on him, right? Like, why not? And very sad, actually, that we don't have BlameF at this stage. I think BlameF carried Fnatic a lot in this RMR. It was pretty obvious that they would suffer at the opening stage. And yes, oh my god, they did suffer. And BlameF couldn't carry them anymore. But yeah, BlameF, obviously we won't be able to see him, unfortunately. So from this one, I would say, obviously, keep an eye on all the freaking Mouse, Vitality, Navi, and all of these teams, right? We have to keep an eye on them. But actually, I will say one thing. Between these players, for sure Zaiwu, for sure Bit, and I would say JL, right? JL has been outstanding when it comes, to high pressure situations. When they need him to deliver, he will deliver. So these are the three players that we should definitely keep an eye on. But there is one team from this list that we definitely need to keep an eye on, and that is FaZe Clan. Why? Because FaZe Clan, I think they are in a situation right now that it's kind of like do or die. If they don't go through the playoffs, I can see this team making roster changes, and God fucking knows what's going to happen to this team, right? Because, yeah, they did go through. They are in the elimination stage. Them being great at the ranking definitely helps, right? And then if you take a look at the teams they beat, when they played against a strong opponent, closer to their level, closer to their rankings, they lost to Vitality, right? 2-0, didn't take a single map. Beat Cloud9, beat Falcons. Falcons came to this tournament basically disbanded, right? They already knew the roster was dead. Beat Fnatic. Is that really impressive to beat Fnatic nowadays? Another dead team, right? We all know Fnatic is not going to stick together, especially after their performances at the opening stage. And then they beat Cloud9 again. I mean, is that what we expect from a roster with Kerrigan, Robs, Rain, Frozen, and Brookie? Right? So I think it's kind of do or die for them. And I don't think we need to keep an eye on them because we expect them to overperform. But it's more towards the angle of let's see if these guys are actually capable of sticking together, because I have my doubts. I'm actually scared that this might be FaZe's last tournament together. They might drop out of this playoffs, and they might not make it. Yeah, they might not make it. I think they have to be lucky with their matchups. I think that if you look at the teams they're going to be playing against, they can definitely lose to a lot of them. I don't think they can beat Navi, Vitality, and Mouse nowadays in a BO3. So it really comes down to them doing well at the BO1s, making sure that they win, they get the Ws against lower opponents. Because if they get upset and lose rankings and lose, that's going to get tough. So I think that should be it, right? We talked about all the RMRs, all the most important teams, all the most important players. Now, what I think you guys should be doing, and that's what I'm going to be doing, is watch the freaking major because it's going to be amazing. See you guys there.